then looks like I'm live. I'm live. Okay. So this round, I'll try and finish off that optimization that I was planning from last time. And maybe I should sort of start off with why I wanted to optimize it. Because on the whole, I think it runs okay right now. But I was just feeling like maybe in time we'll want it to do a little bit more. Oh, gee, that's a bit trippy to go in there. Um, when I look at the game that's inspiring this karateka, and I look at the frame rate there, so if we watch this in play, you'll see even back in the 80s that the frame rate was quite slow. I don't know what I've got, 3 or 4 frames per second here, but nonetheless it made for quite an entertaining game for that era at least, with 3 or 4 frames per second. And I think we've already got that for basic, but of course we haven't drawn any characters yet, or so that's why I want it to a little bit faster. So once the characters come in and are drawn over the top, that's a few more DMA calls there. There'll be bounding box checks to see, if this box of his leg hits the box of the other character's body and so on. Those sort of things will chew up CPU cycles as well. So if I can get it just a bit faster than what it is now, maybe it's worth it and it'll make space for all these other things. So that's why I want to optimize. Um, let's just see if I can do it. I'm not feeling that confident tonight, but let's see. So that's me running the Zemu emulator. I've turned on the UART monitor on this TCP port. I use HDOS virtual so that just an easy way to access the 81 images for me that I prefer. And I'm using a fairly new ROM that supports the 80 by 50 character mode, this 920385.bin. So if I run that, I'll get Zemu up and running. I'm going to mount the 11 image, that's the IDE I prefer to do this basic coding in. And I'll boot that IDE 11. And we go on straight to foot this time. Last time I had some corruption issue with this foot.l file. It was interesting that prior to starting the stream, I had the same corruption issue again. I'm feeling, I don't know for sure, maybe last time I used that Dear Master tool. I've heard some people say if you start deleting things from your disk via this tool, that maybe that can cause corruption issues. Like maybe I deleted a file here, like foot.l, and then new files got added. Maybe something went wrong there. I don't know, that's just one possible reason why, because it happened again. So maybe if I avoid using that tool and use, there's another tool from the command line that's popular called C1541. It's got some help in there, I guess. It should explain all the. No, I can't remember I can't remember how to get the help for this. Maybe I'll have to find the help online. But there were some examples in the make file of me using it. Attach the disk 11.d81, and here I'm deleting the previous foot.l file, and then I write a new one. That's an example of its use. In this case, I'm reading a file. I read the file grab and save it locally as grab.preg. Later on, I run petcat on it, so I get a ASCII readable grab.bas file. Anyway, just examples of using C1541 as opposed to Dear Master. Is it better or worse? I'm not sure. Maybe it's been around longer. I don't know, with the Vice tool set. So yeah, that optimization that I had underway was inside prepare double, or maybe I'll get full size with the F11 key. And yeah, so it was in that prepare double copy layer. I was starting to read from that pointer in bank 4 and get out the current frame X, frame Y, frame width, frame height, and get some helper variables to get the second coordinate a bit easier. Then I'm wanting to iterate over the Y, each row, and then I want to iterate over the x 2 times, hence the k from 0 to 1. And so this copy it to some place in this. Okay, so maybe we have to, it's not the right place to do this, but declare another variable, what to call it, I don't know, I'll just call it double up address equals, can we use, I think we can, do that, but I shouldn't do it here, I should do it at the start of the program. So I'll just do escape M to mark it, X to cut it, then I'll go towards the start of the program to this Petsky vase with F7 to get the labels, enter to go back to the top of the file. Maybe I can just drop it in here somewhere, and I'll do escape P to paste that. I think yeah, I've used data address like that before, so I think double up address like that is okay too. I just press F3 to save. I'll go back to where we were before. Prepare double copy layer. Press, that was F7 to get here, and then enter. I'll try and remember to talk my way through shortcut keys, so it helps you get familiar with them too. I'll do escape delete for that, get rid of that extra line. Alright, let's brave this copy from someplace. I'll copy it to someplace. Alright, so thinking this through, it's presently data address is, we grab the current frame address, we grab the X and we increment by 1, we grab the Y, increment by 1, grab the W, increment by 1. So currently data address should be at that first row, I'm thinking. It's been incremented each time we read these details, so I think now data address is pointing to the bytes of that first row of characters. So let's brave this. Data address. Oh, and also that underscore. What I'm doing for the underscore, at least in Zima, I'm doing Alt P. I can't remember what character that equates to, but it's something that looks equivalent. Oh, sorry, Alt in Zemu equates to the Mega key or Commodore key. So I'm doing like Commodore P or Mega P to get this underscore like, which isn't such a big deal. You don't have to use that one, but inside, what's that tool? My M65 post box, I do translate this Commodore P or Mega P character into an ASCII underscore, just for my own sake. Um, so yeah, so let's say data address. I think we want to do a DMA copy of some sort. So trying to refresh my memory, I'll go to EDMA in the manual and try to remember. So it takes the command, which can be, here it's going to be, we're copying, we're not filling or anything, copy from one place to another. So we need an EDMA command of 0. So go back here. So we are copying. And next up, we need to copy a certain length. Here, I'm going to try and get away with assuming we want 80 characters width, which is a bit cheeky. I should probably check in some other fashion. With that being the case, maybe we don't need to go from this x equals blah blah blah. Yeah, because we're kind of doing it in one hit. So, which kind of means um, maybe I just use, yeah, frame width. Let's use frame width. I know it's going to be 80 for my needs, but and we don't need this. So escape M, down arrow key. Oh no, just that line, and then X to get rid of. Yeah, we've got the entire X here. So escape M, X, I got rid of that. So we've got our length. So going back to command is copy from some source place to some destination. Length we said is 80 or whatever frame width is. And our source is somewhere where data address is pointing. So this data address is pointing to where that original Petsky art is located in bank 4. And then we wanted to go to that new double up um, address. So I said double up Commodore P or Mega P or in ZB Alt P or left Alt P I should say. Double up address. So yeah, I think that should copy 80 bytes from that bank 4 location to the bank 5 location. And if that's successful, next up, oh, we should increment where that double up address pointer goes to next. But if we're incrementing this at, we should probably kick it off at some location. Yeah, prior to all this stuff. Maybe we should always assure at that point double up address equals 5200. Maybe 5 2000. Sorry. Maybe it doesn't matter because we'll only run this thing once very early on. But anyway, just to play it safe. Okay, it's gone from source to destination once. We can do the increment of this pointer into bank 5. So double up address equals double up address plus the frame's width, which is 80 in our case. And I don't mind this K repeating this again. So it'll copy it twice into that location. But I think the thing is later on we want some kind of reference to know that we need to go here to find it. I feel like we need to keep some memory of maybe like how would I put it? Prepare for frame. Oh yeah, I should. So here the for loop, the most external for loop is going from each frame, from frame 0 to whatever the greatest frame is. And then we have this frame address thing. I'm feeling like we also need like a frame double up address. Yeah, and keep track of that in some way. So each time we iterate here, yeah, okay, maybe I need frame double up address and this frame index is equal to whatever. Oh, that's naughty of me. Yeah, we can't do. I'll do escape M. We can't do this here because it's in a for loop. I'd like to X, remove that from there, and do this prior to the for loop. Paste it. So we kick things off, assuming the double up address is exactly at that bank 5 offset 2000. And so as each time we iterate, we want to say this current frame, its address in this double up region is whatever this double up address variable presently is. And we're going to be incrementing this along the way inside this X side of things. So it's copied twice for each row. Yeah, and then we iterate over each row in this Y from the first Y point to the last Y point. And then we're going to go to the next frame. And by that time, this frame double up address is going to equate to something else. So maybe I'll just escape M, copy this line, C, and where did I get the frame address? I'll put that somewhere nearby. I'll declare something like similar to that. So frame address, if I go to the beginning, the home key, and I'll do escape J, and then right alt and F, and I look for, oh, I've forgotten, frame, oh, I see it now, it's down there. Yeah, and Q for quit out here, and then I'll do escape P for the line I'm going to copy. So yeah, I want a similar thing here. Frame, double up address. Yeah, why not 64? Okay. I don't need to feed it anything as yet. Just so it's ready, so that prepare method we've got is going to fill this up with those locations. Um, So back to here. So I can leave this now. We are copying it twice into that region. But presently we're only doing this for the characters. And we need to do this for the color immediately after. The way Bank 4 does it is, I believe, it knows that the characters come first in whatever width and height you specify, and then immediately after is the colors of that same width and height. So I feel like, how do I phrase this? So uh, maybe I should say copy chars for each row twice to some location here. And similarly, we're going to be doing the same thing afterwards. Oh, I guess we could copy this. Or we could introduce another. Actually, I shouldn't say that anymore. I should say for some location in double up address. Maybe for clarity, I'll just copy paste what we have here. So put that there. So this is the copy chars. Maybe I'll put that in capitals to make it more obvious. Copy a chars. And escape M to mark this. Down, 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 down. Copy. And I'll do escape P. And this time I'll put color for each row. And is there anything I've forgotten here? I think I've forgotten to increment the data address. So while we copy that data across twice, I think after we finish a row, we need to increment this data address equals data address. It's a lot to keep in your head, so I understand it's a bit overwhelming. There's so many variables to. At least you got to think if it was written in pure basic, all these variables would just have one or two characters in length. So at least we've got longer names to try and help remind us what these things did. And like if we look at it a day or two from now, hopefully we'll still remember what they did. So yeah, I'll add that line there to escape M, copy, escape P. I'll do escape D there. Alright, so we're moving the data address along now too. And I feel like that's okay. I'll delete that line too. I'll save it. And maybe I won't fret on whether it's being used well or not, but maybe I'll just press F5 and see if it compiles or any bugs or anything like that. And maybe I should see if there's any messages, but it tends not to be. No, nobody messages me. That's okay. Okay, things run as before because we're not making use of that Bank 5, that new off-screen doubling up of stuff. But at least I can break this and maybe inspect what's there. Maybe I can take a look, let's say, if I was to have a look at 42000 and see what is there, compare it to what's inside 520, is that where we put it? And see if there's any similarities. I think we haven't even called this thing yet. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good to know. So I'll go back. To go back to 11, you can either do type boot again, or you can do shift and run stop, or in Zimu that'd be shift and the end key, and that'll take you there too. Either way is okay. So yeah, I don't think we've called prepare double copy layer yet. So a good place to call it maybe after init petsky frames, which I think is called from init vars. Am I wrong? No? Is it called from load data? Load data, init pesky frames, repair pesky frames, and maybe go sub, what was it called again? F7, it was called prepare double copy layer. I'll just escape that. Prepare double copy layer. Okay, so press F3 to save that, F5 to build it, and then again, it's not really being used, so it shouldn't make much of a difference. It'll throw some new stuff into bank 5. So is it still, yeah, this still runs as before, but hopefully if we now run stop this, I'll just clear the screen and do a monitor of what was in bank 4, offset 2000, which is the standard Petsky stuff we had before. Look at bank 5, offset 2000. Alright, we've got kind of similar. There was sort of like, from memory, X, was it XY information, XY width is 50, the hex of 80, I can't remember. Do I have a calculator? Um, let's see, programmer, 50 in hex is 80. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this is like X of 0, Y of 3, um, width of 80, height of 5, and then the Petsky characters for that line are the 80 characters that follow 2020 A0. Okay, so we see successfully 2020 A0, A0, and since 80 columns equates to 50 in hex, we'd be hoping to see the exact replica of this at 50, and looks like we do. 2020 A0 A0 is the same as 2020 A0 A0 blah blah. So it looks like it copied it twice. So I guess after 50 would be A0, this one. So that should be the next line, which is 2020 20 A0, which should be the same as what's in 50 here. 2020 20 20. Oh, maybe I've got something, or maybe it should be the same as the. Yeah, maybe I've got something wrong there. Or maybe A0 20 20 20. Maybe I've mentally miscalculated. 2020. Yeah, maybe I've confused myself. But anyway, we've got something there. Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. All this offset stuff. So it should be starting from, what was it again? X, Y, width, height, 2020, 20, A0. So if we go to 50 here, which is that one, 2020, 20, A0. It's the same thing as A0 here, 2020, 20, A0. Okay, yeah, so we've doubled up successfully. Alright, I think it's okay. So next step will be to try and make use of this doubled up character content and color content. So I'll go back into 11. I'll do boot this time, same thing. So now that we've prepared that information, the double up, we're back into draw Petsky frame. And alright, I don't mind us getting the frame X, the frame Y, the frame W, frame H. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't mind this stuff. For now. Oh yeah, one thing I recall, just an issue I'm hoping to repair on the sidelines. This modular stuff worked well, but I think I have to feed it back into this thing. It's hard to explain why, but I think I lost my headset stuff. Is it back in action? Yeah, I think so. Um, but anyway, don't dwell on that too much, but I think it's needed. Um, so what is the thing I want to change here? We're still going from line to line, and I guess we're not really gonna fret over. This is the drawing in two pieces of the character stuff. Alright, I should specify that draw chars from, or whatever. And this was Just and to go back a word was Control U. To go forward a word was Control W, which is mimicking what's in Basic 65. So this was draw color. From that's how it was before. But now those were the two chunks. Oh, it was doing it for. Oh no, I'm mistaken. Sorry, no. It was doing chars plus color. Yeah, no, it's doing char in this one and then color in that one. Yeah, so that's a mistake. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. It's more that there'll now be just there'll be none of this K because it'll be the full frame width, and I think we can just use. We can't use EDMA. We still have to use the transparent DMA because that EDMA can't do the transparency. But the source address now is gonna be different. Before it was data address. So yeah, that's gonna be the tricky part. What to do here? Um, Data address is equal to. Okay. Data address is this one. But this I think is now going to change here. This is now going to become that double up address. What do we call it again? Double up something address. What is it? Double up frame address or something? I forget. I just saved that again. This was in, just to remind myself, I'll put ZZZ here or something. So back in there, Petsky vase. What do we call it again? Frame double up address. Okay. Can I find once again Alt F find ZZZ. Have I forgotten it already? Frame double up address of frame index. So that gets us into the bank 5 location where the current char stuff is located. But the other location of interest is this C data where the color data address is located, which should be similar to where the data address is located. But just like before, we're going to have to add frame W times frame H. My gut says we times it by 2 because the width is now double. I think, yes, yeah, I think that's right. I guess we'll find out. So now, ooh, it's a lot to carry in my head. I don't think we need this K anymore. I'm going to mark this. I don't think we need this assessment anymore. I'm going to delete those two. I'm going to delete everything. Oh, escape M for mark. Did that work? Yeah. Go down. I don't think we need to do any offset stuff anymore. So I'm going to delete all this stuff. So I think now it's just a matter of one DMA call for the char data, a chunk of 80 bytes. Okay, so length is going to be frame width. I think that's there, isn't it? Yeah, there's a frame width, which should be 80 for us anyway. But the source address is going to be that offset. So that's that X offs. I think that's right. And the destination address is going to be exactly the screen address. Yes, I think that's right. Length is 80 or frame width. Transparency stays the same. I think similar for the color. Color data, the source of it is going to now be pointing to bank 5 with an offset. And the destination address, which which no longer needs that offset. Okay, transparency, all of that's the same. So this is done. I don't think we need these EDMAs anymore because they're commented out anyway. Alright, that's looking a bit more succinct. So, oh, and to delete what's the current and bring it in, instead of backspace, delete key, I use shift and backspace. Um, it's not very traditional in the basic sense, but anyway, that's how I've added it in lately. So I'm going to press F3 and F5 and cross my fingers. And if this doesn't work, I don't know, if the stream has gone for long enough, then maybe okay, it didn't work, but maybe how long has the stream gone? If it's, I don't want these things to go on for too long because I don't know, it might be a bit dull watching me iterate and resolve things. Um, yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here, and I think whatever's rest is I'll just commit it, and then you'll see the end results there, and I can share that next time. Okay, I'll wrap it up there, and okay, thanks for watching. Catch you later.